The coronavirus recession. What can you do to minimize its impact on your digital agency? Hi, it's Damien Papworth here from Globotel. Today I'm actually coming to you from Byron Bay. I've come down to Byron Bay for a short period of time just to really bunker down and support our digital agencies navigate the ins and outs of this coronavirus recession. And at Globotel, we're here to help you design your digital agency to deliver. And when we say deliver, we don't just mean for your clients, we mean for you, the business owner, so you have the lifestyle and the income that you want. Obviously super topical at the moment. Maybe it's not about what we want today, maybe it's about survival, maybe it's about seizing opportunity, maybe it's about serving. It doesn't really matter, it's what you think it is in your mind, but we're here to help you get there. In this video, we're going to look at the recession that's being caused by the coronavirus pandemic. We're going to look at the things that you can do to make sure that your digital agency outruns the financial fallout from this pandemic, so that when all the dust settles, not only do you have a business still, but you have one that's thriving, one that foundationally is much better than the one that you had at the start of the pandemic. So if you're a digital agency owner here today looking for ideas on how you can make an amazing digital agency that survives the years, that is here for the long term and makes an amazing business, an amazing income, an amazing lifestyle for you, subscribe to our channel Globotel TV. We're coming to you every single Monday with ideas, maybe time sensitive, maybe general ideas that really help you create the digital agency that you've dreamed of. Now to our video. So the coronavirus recession is going to have a lot of peculiarities. It's also going to have a lot of things that are very, very systematic with any recession that we have. So first I want to draw your attention to the things that are very common across recessions, and really focus on the tactics we can take for those commonalities to make sure we have a really clear idea on what we can do now and do next. Now, the first thing that we really have to acknowledge is there's going to be shocks, and the shocks are going to cause shockwaves to our clients and ultimately shockwaves to ourselves. We have to acknowledge that. There's nothing we can do about that. At the start of this week, we had the Australian government, for example, in my country, who have basically shut down the hospitality industry, shut down the pubs, the restaurants, the hotels, anywhere where people gather as a result of the abilities to, or the intention to try to contain the spread of the coronavirus. So they basically shut down a whole industry. Obviously, that's a lot of businesses that are no longer trading today. 24 hours, yesterday they were trading, today they're not. That obviously flows through to you as a digital agency owner. They're going to say, well, I'm not trading now, I have to stop everything that is cash related to trading today, and that flows onto us. That's a shock. We can't do anything about those shocks. We're going to have to deal with them as they come up, and we deal with them in any economic decline. Usually it is a shock that actually causes the start of a recession. We have to deal with that today. So all I can say when you experience those shocks is be gentle with yourself, manage your energy, manage your disappointment, let yourself give into it, but put a limit on what you give into it. Like, be gentle with yourself. Maybe if you know, maybe your jam's going out and have a drink or a meal or whatever and a bottle of wine, go and do that. Give yourself 24 hours, get it out of your system, so that come back super focused on what you have to do next. We can't avoid the shocks. We can't avoid the impact, the initial impact it has on our psyche and our emotions and our energy, but we can put a limit on it so that we come back super focused to make the next day better and to deal with what we're dealing with. Okay, the second point I want to make is we have to go into bat for our clients. We have to be there to serve, to support. When we have these massive events that create economic disturbance, that's when we're going to define ourselves either as someone who's selling widgets, who's going to sell widgets and disappear, or we're going to be the trusted advisor who our clients can count on when things get tough. I strongly recommend you become the trusted advisor. So what you should do basically day one is create a really defined plan for each of your clients. A defined marketing plan. What's their next step? What are the things that they need to do to weather the storm? What's the things that they can pause? What are the crucial things that they can't pause? And I'd get on the front foot. I wouldn't wait for them to make these decisions before they came to you. I'd get on the front foot and get out to them and speak to them first. Now, you are going to get clients who are just going to say, we need to cancel services, we need to save our money. With these, what I'd look for is, I saw this amazing video from a guy called Taki Moore. He's a business coach of business coaches, and he talks about pausing the cancellation rather than pausing the service. So you want to get in front of these people and have a conversation that goes something like this. You know, I get that you're afraid and that you're hurting and you have to make decisions today. Let's just put that on hold for the moment. Let's sit together and work out what you need to do to get to the other side of this. Let's just focus there. We can talk about your and my engagement at the end of it. We can talk about the way we engage, the way the money looks, all that kind of stuff. That's not so important today as the things you need to do to get to the other side of this. So let's talk about that first, and then we make those decisions later. Now, having that kind of conversation with your client, it makes them know that you're there to care for them, right? It lets them know you're there to care. It also gives you a chance to look at what they're doing and understand what they're doing and make sure the plan that you put together for them is for the good of their long term of their business. Super, super important. You want their businesses to be around at the end of this so you can continue engaging with them with your business. So it's super, super important that you have those conversations because, you know, with the coronavirus, for example, we're potentially talking about a week's or a month's or some short period of time in the context of commerce where it's going to be really hard. We don't want to spoil the long-term impacts and the long-term relationships of commerce because we're not having these conversations. So some ideas that I have immediately when I'm talking to my digital agencies in my network is, can we put people onto maintenance programs while they get through this so that we have a conversation at the end? Or can we do well, you know what, I recognize that your industry stopped. How about I pay for this month? I want you to keep going. I want you to have something to move to at the end. So I pay for this month, then we talk about it again next month. You know, you just want to keep people talking to you. You want your clients to keep being a chance, keep being in the mix. You want to give them the opportunity to have the next step with their clients and with their business. And you can't do that if you just let them cancel. You can't do that if you're not part of the conversation. So create your plan for your clients and get in there and have those conversations, preferably before they make decisions. If they make decisions, use that as a trigger to have this conversation with them by pausing their cancellation rather than pausing their service. Now, the third thing I'd suggest is you support your clients. So if you have clients that you don't give custom to, but you give your custom to one of their competitors or someone else, I'd suggest you transition your business to your clients. You've got a real vested interest in making sure your clients survive so that you can keep serving them. Why not give them your business? So what does that mean? So for example, if you've got a mechanic that you're doing digital marketing for, yet you're sending your car to be serviced by a different mechanic, stop with the different mechanic, even if you have a relationship there. Give your customer your service, your car service. Give your customer the trust and the business so you can keep them moving, so that then they can keep you moving. Really simple, something we often miss. Now, a key thing I want you to consider is the numbers, and particularly I want you to think about one set of numbers, and that's the number of clients you have. So what I want you to do is have a look at your current client database, the people you are serving and invoicing today, and work out if due to this economic crisis, you lost 10% of your clients, 20% of your clients, 30% of your clients, and 50% of your clients. I don't want you to look at the revenue, I want you to look at the number of clients. Now, the reason I want you to do this is that the reality is for small business, in our industry it's no different to any others, but the reality is if we lost 20% of our clients, that could be 6 clients, that could be 7 clients. If we lost 50% of our clients, that could be 10 clients, it might be 15 clients. If we lost less than that, 30%, maybe it's, 8 or 9. But the reason why I want you to understand this, I know the investment you put into getting those clients, but the reason why I want you to understand this is for small business, the numbers are never great. For small, medium-sized business, when we go through these periods, and we do lose clients, the numbers are never massive. We're not like an airline which loses 50,000 clients. It's a really, really important concept to understand because the numbers are small. If we change some things, we can actually outrun the loss with gains. We can, like, obviously we talked a little bit earlier in the video about the shocks, and we're going to get the shocks. On those days, this doesn't count. But, short to medium term, it's not that hard to overwhelm the loss numbers with gain numbers with a couple of key ingredients. So this actually gives us a sense of empowerment we lose our sense of despair and helplessness when we look at the numbers and realize they're small. I saw a video recently with a friend of mine who coaches digital agencies. And one of the things he said is we absolutely have the choice as to whether we participate in a downturn. And I kind of agree with it. We have our shock periods, and I'm not talking about the shock periods, but over the course of 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks, we have the choice on whether we participate in a downturn or not. Okay, so we've got our numbers. We know how many clients we will potentially lose at the 10, the 15, the 20, the 30, the 50%. What I want you to think about is this now. The next thing I want you to think about is coronavirus pandemic, coronavirus recession starts, March 2020. Now, preceding this, as in any shock-based recession, preceding this, we've basically had 11 years of insane economic prosperity. And what that tells me is that there are a lot of people out in the economy today that have a lot of money. There's a lot of people out there that are looking for opportunities. They're just potentially not the people we're talking to today. The people we're talking to, maybe the people we're reacting to in the social media scene and, in our business networks, but there are people out there with money today. So what does this mean? So what this means is you need to think about what's what in the market today. Who are the business people and the business owners who have money? That's number one. Number two is, who are the businesses today that are actually getting more business and getting busier because of the current economic circumstance? And there are actually many in the industry, in the global industry today, that are getting lots more business than they ever dreamed of because of this pandemic. Tongue in cheek a little bit, toilet paper in Australia. We've all seen the news and how, insanely it was that in Australia people were rushing toilet paper. They thought that they needed toilet paper at home, so they stockpiled it. Bizarre, but toilet paper, soft tissue manufacturers, soft tissue retailers or wholesalers, there's an industry that is actually benefiting from the current economic situation. There's lots of other industries. Do research there, know who they are. You kind of need to know which industries are suffering the most from this challenge also. Because, when you actually work out all this sort of information, you can actually redesign your strategy to make sure you're focusing your efforts in the right places. Super, super important. You don't want to, target your focus and focus in areas and industries where, the government's shutting down businesses. Of course, they're not going to spend money. Of course, they're going to hold on to money. So you really, really need to be clever about how you're focusing your energy, how you're focusing your efforts, and the people that you're actually focusing on. Okay, we talked a little bit earlier about the shocks. What happens when the shocks and we lose 5 clients in a day or 8 clients in a day or something like that? What happens is all of a sudden you've got resources in your business that are no longer being used. Now, here's what I think you need to do. When you have resources that are no longer being used in your business, they either go into account management or they go into business development. One of the two. So account management would be existing clients, working these plans with your existing clients, working out what you can do to save your existing clients and ensure that they're putting cash into your business, paying their bills, but you're supporting them with their strategies to make sure that they're still here tomorrow. Business development means getting out and finding new clients, and there's 101 ways you can do that. We have a couple of workshops on our YouTube strategy at the moment, our YouTube channel, at the moment, where you can have a look at different ways to do business development. So jump in there, have a look at the workshops for digital agencies playlist, and find stuff there. But you can transition, you should be transitioning as much of your local resources into either account management or business development. I'd prefer, if it was my business, I'd prefer 100% of my local resources were focused on client-facing work, client and prospect-facing work, none of it fulfillment, which will bring me to the next point. So the next point comes down to fulfillment. You know, if you're transitioning all of your best resources in the business, your relationship resources to account management and business development to make sure that you keep business coming through with your existing clients, and then you find new business to replace the old, what do you do with fulfillment? Well, you need to find resource partners. And yes, Globitel, we're a resource partner to digital agencies. You need to find a company like ours or engage with us to get the job done. And the point with doing that is that you actually end up aligning the cost associated with fulfillment with the revenue you're earning on the fulfillment. So it's a direct relationship. So that means when you lose business in a slump, your costs in the slump go down also. It means that when you have a peak of business, your costs go with the business, and it's all aligned. So, you know, your costs go up when you can afford it and they drop off when you can't. Super, super important concept. And, you know, this is a long-term strategy, but definitely important in times like now, because you want your best people talking to your clients. You want your best people finding new clients. All right, so that's the foundations. Let me pull this all together now, because this is how you can outrun a recession in your digital agency. This is how you can outrun the coronavirus recession. So the first thing we did is we realized small number of clients we've lost. We don't actually have a massive number. We're not talking about 50,000 clients we have to replace. It's probably single figures. If it's double figures, it's probably less than 20. When we can, you know, that's not massive numbers. Now, what we've actually done is we have found a resource partner to support our business and align revenue costs with costs for delivery, which is what we should have done already. And then we've got all the best people in our business, either in client acquisition or client retention. The rest is just numbers. Absolutely, it's going to be harder to find clients at this stage, but we're being smart about it. We're focused on the industries that are booming because of this current scenario. We're focusing on businesses that we know have got money based on 11 years or whatever years in the next economic crisis, you know, however many years we had preceding it of, you know, prosperity. We know people have got market. We've been really focused on what we're doing. And we're throwing way more resources at it. So where maybe as a business owner, as a digital agency owner, we're the only ones in business acquisition, in client acquisition, you know, maybe now we've got 3 staff doing it. You know, if you're still the only one doing it and you don't have staff and you don't have client staff locally, you need to put extra hours in it. So basically what I'd be looking at doing is, as a business owner who had no sales support and no marketing support, is I would be doing no fulfillment as a business owner. I'd entirely use a different team to do that, and I'd be full-time business development. So that's the way you outrun it. So what you need to do is work out, it's going to take me 3 times effort, 3 times contact, 3 times outreach to get one deal than what it used to be. You have to put in the 3 times effort. You have to put in the 3 times time. If it's 4 times, you have to do the 4 times time. You just got to get the job done. So, give an example. As mentioned, this is about the coronavirus recession. It's coming towards mid to late March at the recording of this. I have doubled my resources doing LinkedIn outreach. We get good customers out of LinkedIn outreach. I have added 50% to my Facebook advertising budget. I might have to pare that back as we go. If I pare it back, I'd put more into LinkedIn. And I'm not doing any fulfillment work myself anymore. Everything that I'm doing is in support of our agencies, customer service for our agencies, and business development. So a lot of it's about the right people in the right seats, the right people doing the right thing. A lot of it's about aligning your cost structures to be really effective and responsible for your business. But a lot of it is also about getting down and grinding and doing the grunt work. One of the things one of my friends said to me, my friends in business said to me is, you should be in startup mode now. You should be behaving like you're a startup, and it's all about the grind. Absolutely, there is opportunity out there. Be smart about where you're grinding. Be smart about the people you're contacting. Be smart about your ideal client at the moment, and put in the effort, put in the hours, reallocate resources in your team. Much more emphasis on sales, much more emphasis on client retention. Get the job done, and you will outrun this recession. One final thing to say before I sign off is government incentives. Like this coronavirus recession is abnormal. It's something that's been manufactured pretty much, and I'm not going to go into the politics of it, but it's a manufactured recession based on protecting people's lives because of a health crisis. The government's realised that there are incentives everywhere. So obviously what you need to do is be fully aware of what those incentives are, whether you do that yourself or contact your local accountant or whoever's presiding in the government bodies, chambers of commerce. There's lots of people who give you advice about it. Take advantage of everything. Don't think, I'd rather someone else has it. Sometimes we go through that sort of guilt mentality. It's not meant for me, it's going to be for other people who are more in need. In these recessions, we need you. The economy needs you, your clients need you, people who are employees, they need you, particularly in marketing. The economy needs marketers to help people get back on their feet at the end of a recession. So it's super important that you take responsibility for surviving and thriving through these times. Big part of that is become fully aware of what incentives are available to your business from your governments, and taking advantage of them. So absolutely go hardcore in to get whatever is available to you and to use it as most appropriately as you can in your business and serving your clients and your team and employees obviously too. So if you've got any specific tactical or strategic questions that you'd like answered around the survival of your digital agency through the coronavirus recession, please throw them in the comments, and I'd love to help out where I can. If you liked the video and thought it was useful, please like it. And if you know digital agencies who would find this useful, please share it with them. I think during these times, it's super important that we come together as a community and support each other to make sure we're all together at the end of it. One of the things that we've done at Globotel is we've created a community of digital agency owners on Facebook. We've got a Facebook group, and we're very active in supporting each other through times like this, but through business as usual times also. So I'd love to invite you as a digital agency owner to come and join us there. I'll put a link in the description below to our Facebook group and in the first comment. Really love to see you there. So that's it from me from today. As I mentioned, we have videos that we drop in our YouTube channel every Monday. Obviously during this current crisis, we're doing it a lot more regularly than that, but I'll see you in the next video.